Welcome in everybody to a very exciting special edition episode. Today we're counting down to Saturday night's main event. I'm beyond excited to get you guys all hyped up for our first premium event. Not sure they call it a PLE, but our first premium event of 2025. Saturday night's main event came back in December 2024. It's coming back again tonight, 2025, February 25th, from the Frostbite Center in San Antonio, Texas. And we have a great card tonight. Although it has had a little bit of a lack of build-up, we have an awesome card for you guys. And I'm super excited to get you guys going and counting down this show. All right, so on today's episode, like I said, we're counting down the build-ups, everything that's happened really between now and what has happened in the past, all leading up to Saturday night's main event. Also, we have a recap of Friday Night SmackDown last night, just so we can get things figured out, straightened out a little bit. It was an all right episode. I was gonna say great episode. It was a pretty good episode. We'll be back tomorrow morning with another episode, recapping Saturday night's main event, looking at Raw, NXT, Dynamite, all things to come next week. We're also doing a segment that I like to call the best of. We're going to count down the 3 best AEW matches of January with an honorable mention. So it's really 4. I wanted to do this last Thursday, but Wednesday night I got a concussion. As you can see, I got cut here. We're all good. Everything's good. Back on the horse today. Didn't want to miss this show because I think that we're testing something out new today. We finally have a video. Finally have a video for to go up on YouTube. Also, recordings will be going out to multiple platforms, so you can listen to this, you can watch this, it's going to be an exciting episode that we have. So I apologize for no episode Thursday. Special episode today. Episode Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon. Not sure when that episode will get out to you. Could be tomorrow night, could be tomorrow morning, not sure. Also looking ahead, we're going to have an episode Thursday. And then a week from today, we're back with the countdown to the Royal Rumble. And then we'll do Sunday. So we have a lot of podcasts to look forward to the next week here. Let's just get right into it. SmackDown last night, January 24th from Austin, Texas. The stars were out. You saw Gabriel Iglesias again. We saw the Bull Riders. You saw Matthew McConaughey. Michelle McCool was there. Undertaker was there. He didn't get advertised or out, but he was backstage. Undertaker was backstage. We had a lot of stars out, and I'm hoping that the stars are out tonight for Saturday night's main event. But before we get into that, we're just gonna take a brief overview of SmackDown. Nothing too lengthy, too long. Just wanted to kind of go over what went down. So the night starts out. Joe Tessitore interviews Cody Rhodes ahead of Cody and Kevin's contract signing match tonight on Saturday night's main event. We'll get into all of that later. Cody Rhodes, first of all, praises Heartbreak Kid, says how much he respects him, says he doesn't have a fear giving up his title. Cody also praises Kevin Owens, right? He praises Kevin Owens after he does the whole Shawn Michaels hype up thing. But he praises Kevin Owens, says that Kevin Owens is a great fighter, but he always takes the easy way out. Now, at this point, you're expecting Kevin Owens to come out, but he doesn't. Joe Tessitore asks him what Cody has to say to Kevin, that maybe he's been a little too nice, a little too soft, teaming up with Roman Reigns, all the things that have led up that, Kevin has been right about. And Cody had this to say. Cody said that before he was Mr. Nice, he was Mr. Mean. He beat Roman, he beat Gunther, he's the son of the plumber. And something interesting that he said is that he's the studier of Randy Orton. He was a student of Randy Orton's film. It's kind of a quick little promo there, interview promo, hyped up Cody Rhodes a little bit, told Cody Rhodes a story, but the thing interesting is that he talks about Kevin Owens, that he talks about Randy Orton studying his film. We know Randy and Kevin have had some problems. We know Cody and Randy are still friends as of right now, even though we've got hints of Randy looking at Cody's title. So maybe we see some Randy Orton tonight or even a week or so at the Royal Rumble, maybe on SmackDown next week. Who knows? But I think it was worthy to note that Randy Orton was mentioned and praised by Cody Rhodes. And you know what? I have to agree with Kevin Owens. Like I said, Kevin's right. Cody Rhodes has taken the easy way. Cody Rhodes has gotten softer. Owens has definitely taken the easy way out multiple times, but in this case, I think Cody Rhodes teaming with Reigns wasn't in his best interest, because I can see a very possible match of Roman and Cody at Mania this year. Although I do think that they're going to pivot and go with something else, which I'll tell you all about in a future episode. But tonight, that's not what we're going over. After this segment, we get the Motor City Machine Guns and Pretty Deadly. After last week's match, the Motor City Machine Guns have a number one contenders match for DIY, which we actually learned later in the show that this match is going to take place next week at the Royal Rumble. Pretty Deadly starts off pretty strong before we go to the commercial break, and it was a great showing from Pretty Deadly in this match. Back to what we used to see of them in NXT and in UK, they looked fantastic. But I think that the Motor City Machine Guns are just on a high right now. They're getting a push. They looked really, really strong. They have great chemistry together. If you did watch this match, you see their moveset in the ring. They're always spot on with each other. They're always on the same page, and that makes for a great tag team. I think that they're going to take the titles next week. But before they did that, they took the match from Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly, pretty upset with the result. No pun intended. It was a good match. We'll see what happens with DIY and Pretty Deadly. Maybe Pretty Deadly gets involved next week. We'll see. Who knows? And then we kind of have I call it the Kevin Owens mini segment. You know, he comes out, drops like a little pipe bomb, and he calls out like Matthew McConaughey. He's on the announce desk, calls out Matthew McConaughey, calls him a coward, and you know they're going back and forth. And then we get Kevin Owens going after Joe Tessitore. Why didn't you interview me? Complains that he didn't get an interview. Calls out Tess. Calls out McConaughey. And then we get Jim Uso coming out, rushing down to the ring, and he tells Kevin that, yo, you talk too much, dude. You talk way too much. And then we get Jimmy slapping him and little mini brawl. But the big news out of this whole little mini segment is that we're going to get Jimmy Uso and Kevin Owens in a one-on-one match later in the evening, which is good because I thought that at this moment the show didn't have any great matches. Like we got announced before the Pretty Deadly and Motor City Machine Guns match that it was going to be Johnny Gargano and Apollo Crews, like little lackluster, but I just didn't know what we were going to have tonight. Like I saw Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus B-Fab and Michin, like just not great like highlight reel matches, but this set up a good main event between Jimmy Uso and Kevin Owens. The next match, like I said, was Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus B-Fab and Michin. Like I said last week, I would want them to kind of go away from this storyline a little bit, but I think what I took away from this match is, although it was lackluster for sure, it was a shorter match. It wasn't the best women's tag team match I've seen. We saw really, really good flashes from B-Fab, who didn't look so great last week, and especially in the U.S. title match, U.S. title tournament a couple weeks before that. She looked pretty good, especially working with Michin, which led to a big upset win. You know, Michin pinned Chelsea Green, and then we learned later in the show that next week on SmackDown it's going to be Michin and Chelsea Green for a rematch. Chelsea kind of freaks out. I don't see any threat to Chelsea's championship, to be honest with you. And like I said, I hope that in the future they move away from this storyline and we get something new here, especially with all the transfer window. And maybe we get Liv Morgan and Raquel. Maybe we get Liv Morgan and Chelsea Green. That was pretty cool. Which leads me into the next segment, which was like this long train of, you know, everyone coming out and declaring for the Women's Royal Rumble match. It started off with Tiffany Stratton saying, bragging, she's the best, it's Tiffy time. Whoever wins the Royal Rumble is going to face me. I'm so important. All that stuff. And then, Rhea Ripley comes out and is like, well, like, I'm a champion too. Like, and Tiffany's like, I respect it. They respect each other. I kind of like that they respect each other after, like, all the Strapley stuff going online. But that's followed by Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, who Jax comes out and declares for the Royal Rumble, which she already did on Raw a couple weeks ago, which I thought was weird. But I think it was good because I was like, well, if Nia Jax declares for the Rumble, does that mean she's not going to win tonight? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, Triple H? But I think it was good because she comes out, she's like, well, once I take the strap off Rhea Ripley, she like does her like baby voice. It's funny. She was funny. She's gotten better on the mic. She's like, I'm coming for you, Tiffy. She's like, I'm coming for 2 belts. So like, it definitely sets up like, hey, there's a possibility. But then Bianca and Naomi come out and they're like, well, I'm gonna win. No, I'm gonna win. And they're like, well, if I don't win, you're gonna win. If you don't win, I'm gonna win. So like that teamwork kind of stuff. And then Liv Morgan comes out. She's great on the mic. Raquel comes out, and it's just a party in the ring. They kind of all promo and brawl. Tiffany Stratton kind of gets out of there once they start brawling. And right before the commercial, we see Nick Aldis walk out to the ring, very serious with a microphone. We go to commercial and we come back, and it is decided that we have a 6-woman tag team match. The teams are Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Liv Morgan versus Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. Ripley kind of starts this match off really strong. And once Nia Jax gets tagged into the match, Jax comes in and halts her offense. Then we go back to another commercial. Like I said, commercials are absolutely killer to the momentum of some of these matches. But the team of heels, Jax, LeRae, and Morgan, they kind of take control of this match before I think it was Naomi who hot tagged into Rhea Ripley. And then, Rhea comes in and she's kind of powerful. She comes in, she's powerful. It's like, I think she and Nia Jax collide with each other. Morgan tags in somewhere along the line, and Ripley gets Jax down onto the canvas, and then Rhea hits a riptide to Liv on top of Jax, which I thought was a pretty cool spot. And then, yeah, it's kind of like, I think it was kind of like everyone kind of got involved for a minute there. Like, you got like, you know what I'm talking about, that sequence there where it's like, okay, so like Ripley is going to get taken after by LeRae now. LeRae is going to get taken out by Belair, and then Belair is going to get taken out here, vice versa. Like, it's just that long train of everyone takes each other out, kind of. And then when it's all said and done, Morgan rolls up, gets a quick one on Bianca Belair for the W for the heels. I think it was great. I love Liv Morgan. I think she's great, especially with the roll-up win and her little laugh. I think it was a great match, especially during like a little bit of a lackluster start/card. So yeah, I thought it was a great match. And after this one, we go back to it being a little lackluster with Johnny Gargano and Apollo Crews. It was definitely some back and forth there, but again, lackluster. I think the most exciting thing about this match is the Motor City Machine Guns come out and they cost Johnny Gargano the match. And I think that just kind of adds to this plot of setting up a great title match next week at the Royal Rumble. But also I noted that like it's cool seeing Apollo Crews win. When I went to an episode of SmackDown filmed in Massachusetts over the summer, I saw Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews take on, I think, Los Garzas. But like it was, anyways, they lost, so I thought it was kind of a cool seeing Apollo Crews win. He's been around forever now, and they're not using him really. They're using him for this interaction here where they can. I think it was cool seeing him win. I also think that he might benefit from going to NXT or going to TNA, but we'll see what happens there. Apollo gets the win over Gargano, but in the end, it really doesn't truly mean anything. 10 o'clock rolls around. We got 2 matches left. It was LA Knight versus Tama Tonga, and they do their entrance commercial. Tama Tonga does his entrance, goes to commercial. Then LA Knight comes out, gets a big pop, and he gets a mic. And he kind of like makes fun of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, talks about costing him the U.S. Championship, so that door definitely opens for a rematch with Shinsuke Nakamura. especially with Shinsuke declaring for the Royal Rumble match. I thought I should mention that. That was in my show notes, but now's the time. We could get a little bit of action between LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura for sure. Yeah, he kind of makes fun of Jacob Fatu. He's like, if I'm going to kick your head in that, you're going to be all shaky because, the shakes that Fatu does. It was pretty funny. It was a good match. They open up the show. They just trade blows with each other, one after another. And the match was back and forth. Like, the momentum swung multiple different times between multiple different people, LA Knight, Tama Tonga. Yeah. And then also what I wrote down is like Tama Tonga kind of went like Jeff Hardy style during this match. So that could be a hint at Jeff Hardy kind of coming back to WWE, maybe in the Rumble, maybe in the future. We'll see. I have a whole Royal Rumble like chart of I predict the entrants, who they're going to get eliminated by, the order of eliminations. I have a whole chart, so we can review that next week because I don't have Jeff Hardy in the Rumble match, but I have Jeff Hardy as a possibility. There's a lot of possibilities I have that I didn't put in, but definitely could show up. And yeah, LA Knight he told him, he's like, Tama Tonga, I'm going to BFT you, and he did. He BFT'd, put Tama Tonga to rest, and then Jacob Fatu was not satisfied, was not finished with LA Knight, it looks like, because he attacks Knight after the match, kind of drags him out ringside, puts him on the table, and then no, that wasn't that spot. He drags him out ringside, attacking him, going after him, and then you just hear Braun Strowman's music hit, and Strowman kind of comes off, and these two just like stand off with each other. They look so mean, and it was kind of, I think they had like a little mini brawl where Strowman knocks Fatu out of the ring, but they stood off for a good hot second, and I think, like I said, that match tonight is going to be unbelievable. We'll talk more in just a minute about that match tonight. So LA Knight beats Tama Tonga in a good match, one step closer to LA Knight regaining that United States Championship, I think. Also cool to note that was Tama Tonga's first singles match since the King of the Ring tournament, which was pretty cool. Main event time, Jimmy Uso and Kevin Owens. Before the match, Jimmy, oh my gosh, I forgot, like, I have my notes right here. There was a match in between this. I just kind of skipped over it in my notes because I ran out of room, so I had to put it. Anyways, the match before the main event was Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest. Early on in the show, Nick Aldis confirms that Damian Priest has transferred over to SmackDown. Carmelo Hayes wasn't too happy about it. Carmelo Hayes also wasn't happy he didn't get Jimmy Uso this week, so he was complaining. He's like, I want a match. So all this gives Carmelo Hayes Damian Priest instead of Jimmy Uso. Damian Priest also had a cool moment with Cody after his match, kind of being like, I'll see you soon, champ. So that's kind of maybe hinting at a possible match at Elimination Chamber for that WWE Championship between Priest and Rhodes. But in my opinion, don't want to see that because I don't want to see Damian Priest lose another championship match. Anyways, this match was awesome, I thought. Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest both looked really good. They both had really good chemistry together, although they probably haven't worked together as much maybe in NXT. For Priest being big and Carmelo Hayes being a pretty small guy, they worked really, really well together, and they both looked great. Like I said, it was a really good match. Another match that kind of added to that. All right, like this makes this card not so bad after all. It was a really good match. I have no complaints about the match. Like I said, I think the thing to note with this match is that if you watch, Carmelo Hayes' future is extremely bright. Like, he moves really, really well, has great moveset, sells very well. I think the only thing that's going to hurt him from being like a main eventer is his size, but I think that his moves in athleticism and agility really help him out and can boost him past all the size problems that he has. Now it's the main event time. Before the match, Jimmy Hayes and Jimmy Hayes. No, not Jimmy Hayes. Rest in peace, Jimmy Hayes. Jimmy Uso and Carmelo Hayes have a little interaction backstage. Carmelo's upset that he didn't get his match against Jimmy this week. Jimmy's kind of like, whatever, dude. So while Jimmy's making his entrance against Kevin Owens, Carmelo Hayes comes out and attacks Jimmy Uso. He kind of shakes him off. That sets up a good match next week. We're getting this match next week on SmackDown, Hayes and Uso. But Jimmy shakes it off. He's fine, goes to the ring. And then Kevin Owens makes his entrance, and he comes out in a Naomi Feel the Glow t-shirt, and his t-shirts have been awesome. If you don't know, Naomi is the wife of Jimmy Uso. So it's kind of funny just seeing him come out with the Naomi t-shirt. He came out with the son of a Canadian software technician or whatever it was last week. The Rey Mysterio Hall of Fame shirt he wore in his match against Rey. I think it's awesome. Really excited to see what he wears tonight. Even tonight, he'll probably have a funny shirt on, maybe a Shawn Michaels shirt, something like that. But he's been awesome. He's always been super funny, especially when he had that run with Jericho. That was great. Even with Sami Zayn, he's been funny. He's a really, really good heel. And in this match, Kevin Owens controls most of this match, and I think that it's partially due to a poor Jimmy Uso moveset. You saw a lot of super kicks in this match. I see Kevin Owens kind of responded with a bunch of super kicks at the end of this match. But Kevin Owens dominated, I would say, throughout this match. They kind of trade blows at one point, and Jimmy sparks a small comeback, but ultimately it really does fall short. Kevin Owens picks up the victory against Jimmy Uso in a great main event match. And yeah, of course, the show isn't finished without Kevin Owens trying to pull a fast one on somebody. He brings Jimmy Uso onto the table. I know I said that. I think it was LA Knight and Jacob Fatu brought LA Knight on the table. No. Kevin Owens brings Jimmy Uso on the announce table, clears it off, and puts him in the package pile driver position. But then it's Cody Rhodes' music, and I've never seen Cody Rhodes run faster down to the ring. He charges down the ramp, runs to the ring, and the two just brawl the night away. Absolutely brawl. The show ends with them just absolutely beating each other up. I actually don't know what happened off air. I just saw what happened on air. The show ended with them. They were just still going at each other. It was pretty cool to see. I think we're going to have hopefully another brawl tonight. And if not, we're going to get an awesome match next week on the Royal Rumble card. So some show notes that I had actually, like I said, Damian Priest is on SmackDown, but also The Miz is on SmackDown. And he backstage was trying to find someone to protect him from the Wyatt Six. He ultimately fell short because the Wyatt Six are now on SmackDown. Also, I said Charlotte Flair's return at the Rumble has been confirmed through a vignette on SmackDown last night. It was a pretty good segment. She's basically calling herself the best. And we can talk all about the Royal Rumble another time, especially this kind of Charlotte Flair return. But right now, I think it's only fair if we really do look ahead to the reason why we're all here tonight. Saturday night's main event is tonight, streaming live on NBC. And also, if you have Peacock, you can stream it on Peacock. I've never had a problem with Peacock, so I watched the last one on Peacock. Tonight, maybe I'll turn it on NBC, but we'll see what happens. So the next however long it takes me, I'm just going to kind of run through Saturday night's main event. If you've seen the graphic, we tried something new with the graphic today. I'm not the best graphic designer, but I have the thing in the back, and it's not working. Something popped up back there. Whatever. We'll keep running through. Like I said, there was a Gunther and Jey Uso package that I put together and wanted to display for you guys during the show. Just as some decoration, because as you see, I don't have a ton of decorations in here yet. But that is the main event tonight. Jey Uso challenges Gunther for his World Heavyweight Championship. We'll get to that one. I want to save that one for last because I think that's my favorite match of the night. Also, like I said, Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes are having a contract signing tonight on Saturday night's main event. That will be moderated by the Heartbreak Kid, San Antonio's own Shawn Michaels. Also, we have Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, two machines going at it with each other. We're in for a good one there. Also, talking about powerhouses and machines, we have Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. That's going to set up to be a very hard-hitting match for sure. And, of course, you can't forget Braun Breaker and Sheamus for the Intercontinental Championship. Sheamus looks to take home his first ever Intercontinental Championship. So 4 matches tonight, 1 segment. Might lead to something, might not lead to something. We'll see what happens. Last month we got 5 matches, but we kind of get this contract signing, which will be all right. What I want to note about this Saturday night's main event is that, A, it is way too close to the last one. The next Saturday night's main event is scheduled right now for July 12th. That's some inside information. July 12th looks to be the next Saturday night's main event. It's going to go head-to-head with AEW's All in Texas, which will be pretty cool to see. So they just put these two a little close together. Also, they put it really close to the Rumble. The Rumble's a week away, so I think a lot of people are focused on the Rumble. And it's weird timing. Like I said earlier, Nia Jax is entering the Rumble, but she's also fighting for the Women's Championship tonight. Just strange timing. Also, what kind of broke my heart a little bit, because you kind of know what to expect, is Jey Uso declared for the Rumble. So it's like, is he going to win? Who knows? But there is a stat that champions, World Heavyweight Champions, and WWE Champions have entered the Royal Rumble match as the champion in the past. So history could repeat itself next week. We kind of all just have to wait and see what plays out tonight on Saturday night's main event. So the buzz isn't really as big as it was for the last Saturday night's main event, because it stood alone as its own event in December. It was the only premium event in December. This is the only premium event in January. I think that's why they're doing it. They try to want to get one a month, but it's really, really close to the Rumble. They could have pushed the Rumble back a week. I don't think it would have hurt, because they have the Elimination Chamber March 6th, I want to say. We'll see what happens, and then the WrestleMania build-up. It's going to fly by. It's going to fly by. We're not even going to remember this card once we get to the Elimination Chamber, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, let's just take a look and preview some of the matches and predictions. Let's see how we got here. So, the first match I have scheduled of the night, I think they should start it off with the WWE Women's World Championship between Rhea Ripley, the champion, and Nia Jax, the challenger. So, how did we get here, really? So, first of all, January 6th, the Raw premiere on Netflix. Rhea Ripley finally gets the job done against Liv Morgan, gets her championship back after what it felt like to be the longest storyline in WWE history. And then Nia Jax, then I think it was the Friday before that, Nia Jax gets betrayed by her ex-best friend, Tiffany Stratton. She loses her WWE Championship in a Money in the Bank cash-in, and she's kind of just been floating around ever since. Nia Jax then shows up on Raw the next week in San Jose and confronts Rhea Ripley. She declares into the Royal Rumble match after announcing her transfer to Raw. Nia confronts Rhea and says that she is coming for Rhea's championship when she wins the Royal Rumble match. That whole segment is kind of deteriorized by Bayley, who is sitting ringside. Bayley kind of gets involved in the match, in the ring during this segment, and Bayley interferes right before Nia Jax has enough and goes right after Bayley, which leads to a standoff and kind of a short little brawl between Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. But that doesn't last long, because Rhea and Bayley kind of team up and push Nia Jax out of the ring, although Jax gets some offense and Bayley and Rhea stand tall. The next week on Raw, Nia Jax ambushes Rhea Ripley immediately when she walks into the arena. It was an ambush, had to be separated by security. Jax was pulled out of there, and it was a horrible scene. That night, it is announced that Jax has a match against Bayley on Raw after the two transferred into Raw. And Bayley is kind of distracted by Roxanne Perez ringside, so Nia Jax is able to get the W. But Rhea returns that night. She returns the favor and returns that ambush to Jax for what happened earlier in the night. And the two just straight up go after each other. There's nothing. They just go after each other. Security is there. That's not enough. Jax tries to put Ripley on the table. Jax is pushed away against security, and then Rhea jumps on top of Nia Jax off the table, and more security is needed. This segment is ended by Rhea Ripley saying, Saturday night, or she said, you, me, Saturday night's main event. Holds up her title, and we know we're getting an absolute, as Sheamus would say, a banger. These two women, by the looks of it, and by the brawls that have happened leading up to this match, they're ready to get their hands on each other. They're ready to cause chaos. They're ready to cause harm, straight up harm to the other opponent. I know we're getting a hard-hitting match, but this is going to be a hard-hitting, powerful match. Last night on SmackDown, we also kind of got a preview of Nia Jax limiting Rhea Ripley's offense, and then Rhea Ripley going after Nia Jax. So we got that momentum changing back and forth that I like to talk about, and I think it just sets up such a good match tonight. Something to note is I think that if Rhea Ripley hits the Riptide on Jax, which she should be able to do, she will be able to get the job done. We've seen this match less than a year ago at the Elimination Chamber where Ripley defeated Jax, so Jax looks to kind of come back and not lose 2 championship matches in a row to Rhea Ripley. So I'm trying to think. Predictions for this match. I think Rhea Ripley is going to win this match by pinfall, although it will be a pretty good match. Something to note is I think that because they have 4 matches tonight, some of these matches can involve a little bit more wrestling. We'll see if Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley's stamina will improve tonight so they can have a longer match. I would love to see a longer match between these two, and especially the next match that I'm going to talk about, which is Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. Another hard-hitting powerhouse monster versus werewolf match that we're getting tonight. And this all started after the old bloodline. I know we're not calling them the bloodline anymore. I'm going to call them the old blood, or the new bloodline. Took out Strowman weeks prior, and I think it was the week before where Braun Strowman comes back and goes after Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga after Solo Sikoa leaves, and Knight comes out and they have their U.S. title match. It was this whole thing on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. They had this whole thing. Strowman comes back, confronts Jacob Fatu, and immediately after, Nick Aldis announces that we're getting Strowman and Fatu we're getting Strowman and Fatu in a hard-hitting singles match. I think something to note here is that, like I said, Braun Strowman was taken out by the new bloodline, but Braun and Fatu, especially after last night, are just going to look to cause damage to each other. What I expect from this match is a really, really cool spot, like something that will get social media's attention, will get the media's attention. They're going to hype up this oh my god moment, maybe a this is awesome chant from the crowd. And on last night, they had a tail of the tape comparing neck size, bicep size, chest size, height, shoe size, really everything, just to show how much of a powerhouse these two really are. Jacob Fatu, in short terms, looks like the underdog just because of his size compared to Braun Strowman. I mean, Braun Strowman's a monster. They're both monsters. But I hope this match breaks the internet. I hope they have a cool match. And it's just going to be a clash between two machines. My prediction for this match, I think that Jacob Fatu, just because of the momentum he has right now and his skill set, he's going to be able to outpower Braun Strowman and pick up a W, especially in this match. I think it's going to be an awesome match. I'm really, really looking forward to this match although it can go both ways, and for sure, I don't know for sure who's going to win. This was one I was kind of going back and forth between when I was penciling in my prediction. I think that Jacob Fatu will get the job done by pinfall. It could be like, we could just get like Braun Strowman can't go any longer, or we'll see. This is going to be a really hard-hitting match. Next match of the night, let's talk about Braun Breaker and Sheamus. This one goes all the way back to Survivor Series last year. Sheamus fell short in a triple threat match at Survivor Series between Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. Kaiser hit Sheamus with a shillelagh, which took him out, and actually Braun Breaker retained this match. A couple of weeks later, on January 13th, Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus go one-on-one in a number one contenders match for the Intercontinental Championship. And Sheamus gets the job done really, really smoothly, and technically just gets the job done. Looks like the old Sheamus that we've seen before, years past. And Sheamus looks to win, I think I said this earlier in the show, Sheamus looks to win that one championship he's never won in WWE before. That's the Intercontinental Championship. Will he get it done tonight? We'll see. Sheamus puts his eyes right on Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship after a lengthy standoff after his match against Ludwig Kaiser. The two kind of trade blows with each other. I think Breaker like shoves Sheamus, and the two get in each other's faces. They have to be separated, I think, by Pat McAfee ringside. These two finally get to unleash chaos on each other tonight. Braun Breaker being that really quick and powerful wrestler that we've seen in NXT and now on the main roster in WWE, and Sheamus just being that veteran, technical competitor, the Irish Warrior, the Celtic Warrior that we've seen in years prior. I think we're in for a really, really good match tonight. And tonight, on Saturday night's main event, I think that it makes most sense to see the Celtic Warrior Sheamus defeat Braun Breaker. And here's why I say this, is because in past podcasts and on past episodes, I said that the Intercontinental title picture has kind of been boring. And if we were going to get Sheamus and Braun Breaker, which I thought we were going to get at WrestleMania, to be honest with you, I think it's just going to be too long and too drawn out, to say the least. So we're getting it tonight. I think Sheamus winning tonight could set up a lot of possibilities for other guys to kind of come in and take the Intercontinental Championship. If they're going to do an Intercontinental Championship match between Breaker and Sheamus, maybe have Sheamus win, defend. Now these guys are kind of like 1-1 with each other, and then you have that third trilogy match at WrestleMania. I think it sets up pretty nicely. Now, if Breaker wins, there's a lot of different directions WWE can go. And this was another one I had trouble penciling in because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know who's going to win this match. But when it's all said and done, I think Sheamus pulls away with his first Intercontinental Championship win in the WWE, especially after them kind of hyping it up and saying, he's never won this before, he's never won this before. I think tonight could be the night for the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. Before we get on to our main event of the evening, which is Jey Uso and Gunther, I want to talk a little briefly about Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens' contract signing tonight. I want to talk about how we've gotten to this moment here tonight, but I've kind of been going back and forth because I don't want to be repetitive, because next week's the actual match, and I think we can get a whole build-up preview, what's led to this moment right now next week. It's going to be long and just, in the simplest way, drawn out. So I want to talk about what has led up to this contract signing. Well, last Saturday night's main event, Cody came out with the Winged Eagle belt, and to be honest, Cody cheated. Cody cheated his way to a victory, and Kevin Owens thought, rightfully so, he should have won that match, and I think that if the referee was conscious, Kevin Owens would have won that match. So Kevin Owens takes the Winged Eagle belt and is like, this is mine because I'm the real champion. Cody has his actual WWE Undisputed Championship, but these two kind of have belts, and all this is like, I'm sick of you guys doing this. Too much drama. You guys hate each other. You guys constantly talk smack about each other week in and week out. So at Saturday night's main event, you're both going to give up your titles. So they have to give up their titles and be away from their titles from a whole week. And at the Royal Rumble, the titles, I'm not sure yet, are going to be suspended, hanging high from the ceiling of Lucas Oil Stadium. I think this could also set up a new title. Maybe they bring back the classic WWE title, the the all black strap, which I think was their best championship that they've had, besides the white winged eagle belt. This is their best championship they've had. Although I like the winged eagle belt, I think that they could keep it. I think Triple H made it clear, one night only. I don't think we're getting that, but I would consider a plain black WWE belt coming back at the Royal Rumble. So they're giving up their belts, and this was after they both refused to sign a contract for the championship match on a SmackDown last week. Nick Aldis went up to Cody Rhodes, and Cody was like, you know what? I'm not signing this until Kevin Owens signs this contract. So you come back to me once Kevin Owens signs, and I'm going to sign this contract for you. Kevin Owens, on the other hand, he's like, whoa, Cody hasn't signed this. Why hasn't Cody signed this? And Nick's like, well, he was waiting for you. And he's like, well, that's not how this works. I am not signing until Cody signs. And so Nick Aldis is like, I think later in the show they have another altercation, and Nick's like, I'm done with this. You guys are going to sign the contract together at Saturday night's main event, and the moderator is going to be none other than San Antonio's own Shawn Michaels. So we'll see how Shawn Michaels gets involved here, but I think something to note for this is that, A, there's definitely going to be a brawl. It's never Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes without a brawl. Maybe we get a Randy Orton return, but those are the two possibilities, I think, for tonight. I think it's going to be more than a contract signing. Definitely some dialogue between the two, some fighting, and it's probably going to be a really, really good segment. If they're going to put it on a premium event like Saturday night's main event, I think we're going to get a really, really good segment. So that's how we've gotten there. I think next week there's a lot more. There's so much more to this whole Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes story, and there's a lot to unpack. There's no real prediction for tonight. My only prediction for this segment is that, A, Randy Orton's going to return, or B, that there's going to be some sort of brawl, and maybe they get taken out by police. Remember when Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair had to get taken out by the police? Maybe they get taken out by the police tonight. I think it's going to be a really good segment. I really, really, truly look forward to this segment. All right, now, the moment you guys have all been waiting for, the moment I've been waiting for, Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso versus Gunther. WWE World Heavyweight Championship is on the line in our main event. I had this beautiful graphic back here, but I have some notification about some privacy settings, which is nice. I didn't want to get up and change it. I just wanted to keep the flow of the show going. So here we are. As you can kind of see Jey Uso. It looks like Jey Uso has the actual belt in the picture, but that's Gunther's left shoulder, actually. Interesting. Anyways, this all started when Gunther comes out. I think it was the Raw after the Netflix premiere, and he's like, everyone, The Rock's back, Roman, Tribal Combat, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you guys, there's too much drama. I'm just focused on myself. I'm the best wrestler in WWE. I'm the best champion. I'm the most powerful. I'm the most technical in WWE. And then you just hear Jey Uso's theme song. He kind of comes out through the stands like he always does, and he goes right into the ring. Goes right up to Gunther and is like, you know what? It's my time. I want the championship match. There's been multiple weeks of intense face-offs. There was not just one. Uso and Gunther. I kind of combined the two. Uso and Gunther duel for the World Heavyweight Championship tonight, NBC and Peacock, for Saturday night's main event. After Gunther tried to trivialize Jey as just a really, really good tag team wrestler, Jey snapped right back and was like, you know what? I am a good tag team wrestler, and because I'm a good tag team wrestler, it made me the main event of WrestleMania 39. And Gunther, have you ever main evented WrestleMania? The answer to that, I'll tell you, is no. So Jay really has built himself a really, really good gimmick, built himself a character, built himself to be a singles competitor, and he has lived up to his name as main event Jey Uso. But they don't call Gunther the ring general for nothing. He is the best pound for pound wrestler in WWE. Doesn't mean he's the most entertaining, doesn't mean he's their most popular. He is just, in my opinion, the best that they have right now. He's not as old as guys like CM Punk, Cena, Roman Reigns, but he is as competitive and as technical as these guys. This match is coming after almost a year after Jey Uso and Gunther actually fought for the Intercontinental Championship last year, where Gunther narrowly escaped Jey Uso, and Jey actually finally won the Intercontinental Championship months later. But tonight, Jey Uso looks to win his first ever World Championship, his first ever big title. Not mid-card, main event title. He really looks to solidify himself as the main event, Jey Uso. But that comes on the other end is a really focused ring general Gunther. Now, predictions for this match. Weeks leading up to this, and right when it happened, right when Gunther is talking all this smack to Jey and really getting Jey down on himself, I really think that it's possible, that the slightest bit of me thinks it's possible that Jey Uso can come back, that he will win this match despite everyone online saying that he can't. I always have believed in Jey Uso, and I always said that I will believe in Jey Uso winning this match until he either taps out, is knocked out, or is counted out 1, 2, 3. The only reason why I'm picking Gunther to win this match is solely based on the fact that Jey Uso has entered the Royal Rumble already. So if you're a betting man and you're going to Vegas and you want to bet on this, you can't bet on wrestling. But if you wanted to bet on it, I would bet on Gunther. So that's why I'm picking Gunther to win this match, despite penciling in Jey Uso. Because I don't think you can ever count Jey Uso out. But again, it's this story that WWE is building. Also, we haven't seen much from Drew McIntyre after Jey beat him on the premiere at Raw. So maybe we get some action between Drew McIntyre coming in, costing Jey the match. I could even, now in my head I'm thinking of scenarios. I could even see him coming in and costing Gunther the match and coming in and fighting Jey Uso for the title because he sees him as an easier target. I could see a bunch of things happening with this match. But again, we are not going to know until the main event tonight. And that is the beauty of wrestling, and that's what I like. I like not knowing. But I am picking Gunther to win this match. I just think that he is too good. I think that his reign is not over anytime soon, and especially right before the Royal Rumble. Gunther has not declared. Jey Uso has. I think the odds are in favor of Gunther tonight. So, there you have it. Saturday night's main event, live tonight, 8/7 Central on NBC, and streaming live on Peacock tonight as well. I'm going to go over the matches and my predictions one more time. Rhea Ripley takes on Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship. I have Rhea Ripley retaining her championship tonight. Again, like Gunther, don't see her reign ending anytime soon, especially after she just won a couple weeks ago. Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu, the werewolf versus the monster. I think this one is going to be an all-time instant classic match, but I do have Jacob Fatu, even though I think, in my opinion, he's considered the underdog in this match just because of his size. I do see him doing something crazy because he is a psychopath and pulling off the win against Braun Strowman. We also have Braun Breaker defending the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus tonight. And after months of Sheamus facing adversity, losing at Survivor Series, coming back and beating Ludwig Kaiser in the number 1 contenders match, I think tonight we finally see Sheamus win his first ever Intercontinental Championship match as he beats Braun Breaker. The next thing that we have is a segment between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. This is a contract signing match for their ladder match next week at the Royal Rumble. This contract signing is going to be moderated by the Heartbreak Kid, San Antonio's own Shawn Michaels. So buckle up. I think that's going to be a super interesting segment that we all can enjoy. In the main event tonight, we have the main event, Jey Uso taking on Gunther for Gunther's World Heavyweight Championship. And although I think Jey has a possibility of dethroning Gunther, I think that when it's all said and done, Gunther gets the job done because he is technically and competitively the best wrestler in all of WWE. So there you have it. Saturday night's main event, live tonight. Although they've done a poor job leading up to this card tonight, I think that we're in for a good show. We're in for some great wrestling no matter what. All the action goes down, like I said again, tonight, NBC, Peacock, wherever you want to watch it. It's on cable tonight, so make sure you take advantage of that. Tomorrow, we will look at what happens tonight on Saturday night's main event. We'll also briefly talk about AEW Collisions tonight, but I guarantee if you're a wrestling fan, you're probably not watching that. No offense. We'll take a brief look at what happened. I won't be watching, so I can't talk about it as much. But mainly, we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event, the results, what's next. We'll look at Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and we're going to go over AEW's best matches of January. I'm very, very excited to talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed our first ever video episode of The Wrestling Wire. Tomorrow, I think we're going to go back to audio only. But hopefully next week for the Royal Rumble, we'll get back on the horse and go right back to the video. I appreciate you guys, whether you took the time to watch the video or you took the time to listen to the audio. I hope you enjoyed, first and foremost, my preview of Saturday night's main event and the recap that I had of SmackDown. And I really, really do hope you enjoy Saturday night's main event. I know I'm going to enjoy it. Hopefully you grab a drink, grab a snack, sit down, relax. I think we're in for a great show tonight. Wrestling, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Wrestling is hot right now again, and being a wrestling fan is the best thing at this exact moment. So, we'll see you all again tomorrow. Like I said, enjoy Saturday night's main event, and take it easy for the rest of the day. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.